But first, more trouble for the Albanese government over Gaza visas today. The opposition claiming that bringing in 3,000 people from the terrorist-controlled war zone could cost taxpayers upwards of $300 million over 4 years.
This is a government that's handed out 3,000 tourist visas to people who are clearly not tourists. They don't intend to return to Gaza. They can't return to Gaza. And so right now the government is contemplating offering these people permanent visas. And when they do so, they'll be able to access Medicare, welfare and other benefits. And that's not free. In fact, it costs about $25,000 per year per visa holder. So if all 3,000 are converted to permanent visa holders and access those benefits, we've calculated it'll cost Australian taxpayers $300 million over 4 years.
Now, let's face it, almost none of them will volunteer to go back. And the government says it won't force anyone to return. So welfare payments, housing assistance, Medicare legal aid and all the other resettlement services Australia provides will be granted to them. It all costs money. And given the ongoing financial costs plus the potential national security risks of bringing in people from a terrorist-controlled war zone, the question haunting this government is why? Why are we letting at least 3,000 people, scarcely security checked, many of them schooled from infancy in Jew hatred and the evils of the West, come to Australia when none of our allies are taking in anything like these numbers? And the countries that know Gaza best, their Muslim neighbours, Egypt, Jordan, Kuwait, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, well, they're taking none at all. As far as we know, there's been no cabinet decision, no leadership group discussion, no caucus debate on any of this. Certainly no formal announcement, no proper press conference or anything like it. This all leaked out last November, and it was only then that Penny Wong sheepishly admitted 700 visas had already been granted, with hundreds more to come. Now, what's worse, it would appear that ASIO weren't consulted at all about this decision to let people in from a terror zone with minimal or no security vetting. We know at the time the Prime Minister had booted ASIO out of his National Security Committee. Maybe this was why. Maybe he feared ASIO would argue against it. Certainly the ASIO I knew in the past would have done that, expressing genuine concern for the security and safety of all Australians. Any wonder our terrorism threat level was recently increased? I mean, this scheme to bring Palestinians from Gaza to Australia under a cover of secrecy that's now been blown looks like it was something cooked up between the PM and former Immigration Minister Andrew Giles, not to advance Australia's national interest, but to trade visas for votes in Western Sydney. All at a time when anti-Semitism is rampant. What an appalling thing to do to our country.